I'm springing this on my chat. At this point in time, the Eliza Bleu story has blown up. I am going to cover the mention of Eliza Bleu on The Hill because it's gotten to The Hill. So, immediate press release. I would like to say, I wasn't one of the ones who hopped on this story first, but I was ahead of the curve. So, drop a like, let people know, link the videos, let them know. I'll make a playlist for y'all. Link the videos. I was here. Ain't nobody bringing it up on Twitch. It was me. Anyway. Yep. Everybody's making videos on her now. Everybody's understanding the grift. It's starting to spiral out of control, and I would like to say I was on it before most. Who is Eliza Bleu? Anti-sex trafficking Twitter activist scrutinized by former allies.
Anti-sex trafficking activist Eliza Bleu from her interviews with popular right-wing figures, including Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, Dr. Drew Pinsky, Michael Malice. You also might know Bleu through her interactions with Elon Musk and their apparent collaboration in the Twitter CEO's push to remove child pornography and other illicit content from the platform. However, both Bleu and Musk have recently found themselves in the middle of a censorship controversy involving embarrassing photos of Bleu's past, which some people say discredit her alleged history as a sex abuse survivor. Multiple accounts who posted these photographs have been temporarily suspended from the site, calling into question about Musk's claims to favor free speech on the platform.
Now, two former friends of Eliza Bleu claim that she is exaggerating her experiences for attention and clout, telling the Daily Beast, quote, "It's making a lot of her old friends around here really angry," said Carly Wenzel, who claims to have known Bleu for 2 decades, adding that she's completely lying. Robbie, you've been keeping up with this a lot more than I have. Help me understand what's going on here.
So there's a lot going on, and I would not just kind of without any pushback except reporting from the Daily Beast. I've had a lot of issues with their reporting in the past, but here they're talking about things I have observed as well in the Twitter sphere. There's a lot of frustration with this person right now, Eliza Bleu, including from what I would describe as sympathetic or former allies. So she portrays herself as an activist against sex trafficking and pedophilia, and she has claimed that she has had her own mysterious past of being sex trafficked, being forced to perform sexual abuse, that kind of thing. And she somehow did get Elon Musk's attention. She's been interviewed on a number of right of center places, and she tweets a lot, and she drew Elon's attention and was, I think, very informally, where you can see it on Twitter, advising him on what accounts are bad, confront sex trafficking on the platform, confront pedophilia on the platform. Mm-hmm. I think she was very instrumental in calling his attention to Yoel Roth, that former Twitter content moderator, who had written something that was kind of provocative in the past about hookup apps or gay hookup apps and the ages of the people on it. And she I think drew attention to the fact that a lot of people might have had issues with that. I don't like how that was characterized, and I think it was kind of unfair to him, but she was involved in all that. Fast forward to now, some independent accounts have drawn attention to her, including Michael Tracy, who's an independent journalist whose work I think is often quite good, as well as Katie Herzog, co-host of this Blocked and Reported podcast with Jesse Singal. I cite them all the time. They're really good, objective reporters. They're very thorough. Look, there are a lot of questions about whether she was actually a victim of sexual trafficking.
Why is it? I'm struggling to understand why this is relevant and why, obviously anybody misrepresenting their past, okay, but her being an advocate against, child pornography, pedophilia, whatever, sex.
No. I literally, my theory was correct. So we gonna let this rock for as long.
A survivor. We didn't know the game.
I was right. Wait, that's Briana Joy Gray? I ain't even, because I'm used to seeing her straight. Yo.
whatever, sex trafficking seems.
I think she's done a lot of like clout chasing on the basis of I'm a victim, and then people were finding and circulating videos of her that were very like softcore, inappropriate kind of skimpy outfits
and which
type
way
thing.
are those? How's that supposed to cut?
That she was.
Oh, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the. I'm doing it. Oh my God.
Kind of skimpy outfits
And which
type
way
thing.
are those? How that?
Can somebody please do me a favor? I'm in the middle of a YouTube segment and I forgot to fix the pause thing. So, can somebody in my chat just clip those 30 seconds for me, please?
Was an independent journalist who I think.
Matter of fact, yo, Globus, can you take care of that? You know the part that I'm talking about. Cause I don't want.
Whose work I think is often quite good.
I don't want that to go
As
away.
well as Katie Herzog,
don't
co-host
want
of
that
this
to go
Blocked and
away.
Reported podcast with Jesse Singal. I cite them all the time. They're really good, objective
Thorough.
reporters. They're very thorough. Look, there are a lot of questions about whether she was actually a victim of.
Seems.
I think she's done a lot of like clout chasing on the basis of I'm a victim, and then people.
Sorry to my YouTube viewers. You got the.
Then people
you had
were
to see that.
finding and circulating videos of her that were very like softcore, inappropriate kind of skimpy outfits
and which
type
way
thing.
are those? How's that supposed to cut?
That she was, I believe, I'm being very careful with my words. I believe the accusation is that she was not sex trafficked. She was involved in kind of cam type stuff, performing type stuff. It was not. She was not abducted, and she was not imprisoned or held against her will. Or
Are
any of
those
that.
mutually exclusive? I mean, isn't the whole conversation around Andrew Tate is that he's being accused of inducing women to perform on camera?
And I was right. And I was right. And I was right once she put in place the mechanism that Elon Musk was on her side. She could immediately snap to the most obvious man because it's not like he's hiding it and being like, yo, I'm gonna take him down. She's gonna use that as leverage to say, look, I did this amazingly great thing. Now you can all stop pestering me about my past. I literally warned about this strategy and it is such an easy fucking PR move. How am I a black man from Harlem and I see how these follow the rich white man, always just follow the rich white man.
So that he can profit off of their products.
So she has friends of hers from that time period that she claims she was a sex trafficking victim are interviewed in that Daily Beast piece saying she was never a victim of sex trafficking.
And
she was involved in some sketchy things.
And we credit what those friends say. We're not worried at all about their. I mean, I guess you are saying that you're worried. You're not taking this at face value. There could be some conflict of interest there, an interest in them being less famous or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just such an odd thing.
She's also trying to suppress. So she has gotten, and this is the censorship aspect. So people asking questions about this, sharing some of those photos, so she's saying those photos were taken of her non-consensually, but there's no evidence of that. It seems pretty clear.
Yeah, I have proof that it was consensual. You son of a bitch! Oh, I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. Oh my God.
That was just her thing previously. And she has gotten Elon to ban accounts calling attention to that, saying, well, wait a minute, you said this is not consensual, but this was posted on YouTube for a long time under a clear, it couldn't have been posted if it was not consensual. And she's getting those people banned.
What do we know about her claims of sex trafficking? What has she specifically said happened to her?
So she didn't say specifically what happened to her.
Okay, so because I'm reading an article, I was just trying to Google it real quick, and this one article says, Eliza was sex trafficked for 9 years total before gaining the courage to attempt to escape one night from her apartment. But it doesn't go into any detail. So has she in fact said, I was sex trafficked, I was, held hostage in this building for this number of time by these people, and has she described it in any way, or has she alluded to being kind of a victim of sexual exploitation? And maybe not corrected the public when they read.
Please tell me he knows. Please tell me he knows, because if he doesn't, that means that I'm ahead of the game. This is my story.
More into it?
I think it's more the latter, yes.
Oh gosh, the whole thing is so wishy-washy.
Yeah, but this is someone. And the reason we're talking about it, this is someone who has Elon Musk's ear and who has been able to get, at her personal discretion, accounts banned, including for scrutinizing her. She's had a lot of input on how Twitter has handled various issues. She has his attention.
So this is.
I don't think she's used her power and influence for good, and I don't think she's honest about what happened in her background.
Right. So this is kind of being framed as a critique of Eliza Bleu, but it's irrelevant. It's really a critique of this pattern of behavior from Elon Musk of following random acquaintances from Twitter and using their advice to design Twitter.
Oh my God, I literally said the victims are the shield, bro. Because it's a problem of Elon Musk not background checking these people. Not that these people were just never background checked. Like, oh my God, there's more dumbasses that are more popular on other platforms that do this same shit.
Policy as opposed to something that's more objective and substantive.
Yeah, so right now a lot of people who like Elon Musk, who are on board with new Twitter, are calling her out and trying to get him to realize that this was not a good faith person. This is in fact a grifter. Which I think is very likely to be the case.
Yeah.
She has not acquitted herself well in this entire debate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can make moral judgments about a person on Twitter misrepresenting themselves, but it does seem to me to be the onus is on the person who would design a platform policy based on somebody's representation on an app. Is she who she says she is? Do we know like her real name? Is she kind of a persona? Is she like a real?
It's a persona.
A real person.
It's not her real name. No.
I mean, this is so thorny. I mean, the kinds of things. I don't even know what to. I mean, it's not that I'm trying to let her off the hook for her misrepresentation, but it's like we wouldn't even care about any of this if it weren't for the fact that one of the most powerful, richest men in the world is.
I literally said this. No, because you got to look deeper. Because, okay, if you use it as a grift, how is she going to hide in the shadows? You got to pull this off and make her, you have to make her submit the truth out before Andrew Tate before this sentence thing ends. She's going to grift this as long as Andrew Tate is in jail. So we gotta make a move because that's just too much power. She's gonna absorb just way too much power. She's already on the right wing circle doing the right wing. My tweets are protected and I get more exposure. Oh my God, I said she was just gonna use him as a bouncing off tool. Here I am, I have the platform. It doesn't matter what I've done in the past. Can't you see that because of the work I've done with Elon Musk, we've been able to help Twitter take down more child porn? Isn't that what you care about? Why don't you care about that? And grift continues, doesn't matter.
Right.
Using her as a sounding board for
I mean, I would care a
policy.
little, as I've said, and I brought my colleague at Reason, Elizabeth Nolan Brown, on to talk about sex trafficking and how that term has really been weaponized by law enforcement in all sorts of very bad ways, and people who scaremonger about the prevalence of sex trafficking, especially in the U.S. context,
you missed everything.
are often using junk statistics.
You missed everything.
And
Where was
really
you, though?
just marshaling more law enforcement against consensual prostitution or things of that nature. They're never actually arresting sex traffickers. People have this idea that white vans drive around abducting people and chaining them and making them perform sex for money, and that in all of these stings that law enforcement does, always inevitably they end up arresting women, not the dudes,
case,
but
right?
the women. But she's giving voice to that kind of mindset.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, do you have a sense of why? Is it just that the Elon, like fans of Elon?
Leave it alone! Leave the Elon thing alone! Can we please, for once in our lives, when we expose a grifter, not try to chain this shit? That's exactly what I've been trying to do. Solve this fucking chainer part, bro. It has nothing to do with him. If it wasn't her, it would be cat turd. It would be fucking cat turd. We live in a world where Elon Musk, one of the richest people in the world, literally listens to a fucking piece of shit from a cat named Cat Turd. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Elon Musk are
It doesn't matter about the car I drive or the wear around my neck. It doesn't matter.
worried about how her reputational damage is going to negatively affect Elon Musk's reputational damage? But she was a popular person before this, right? She wouldn't have access to go on Tim Pool and do all of these other kinds of
I
things.
think people just caught on to her
Oh
grip.
my gosh, the Tim Pool thing and the right wing spin was before Elon took over Twitter. Come on.
It's conservatives that have been interested in her and platforming her.
I'm
She's
so
been.
mad for no reason.
Depends how you
It's just
describe these. Tim Pool, Michael Malice. She may or may not have been on Rogan. I can't quite remember. I think so. I don't know for sure.
It's fascinating to me.
Let me find that out while I have my.
This ideological commitment to, or this investment in this idea of hunting out pedophiles and groomers, and how this has become
Okay, I can't tell whether she's
on the
actually
right.
been on. She was not.
Nah, she was on a good point there. I never give anybody. No, I never give nobody. I understand like why, but like, I can't handle the cringe. Yo, like I just like that was a good point. It's funny how these people are all grifting off the prevailing image of like, but like, see, for trans people, they already know this. This is why I be like saying, yo, get to the part, because there's no way your brain don't move fast enough if you do this for a living. I do not believe that people don't get to core issues. The reason why you can't fix poverty is because it's a layer of issues all spread out, chaining each other. You can't take out any of those chains. They all function together. You've made a system out of being poor. If I were to do something wild and say, pull the ceiling like $100 gets you a certain amount of food, right? For a rich person, $100, like for a person who has, let's say, 2.5 million in the bank, $100 is nothing. For somebody who has 200 in the bank, $100 is half. If I were to somehow make income and variable pricing a direct like correlation and exponential function, there is one. Yes, the Gini coefficient. Shut up. I know. How does he know that? Don't ask. I did a video on it like 3 years ago. If I could make it a perfect function, everywhere you go, everything would be equal. But we don't want to do that because capitalism. That's weird, right? Core issue is you can't fix poverty because you won't separate the chain at the right points. You won't allow it to grow into a better system. You have two systems. The mix of them is really weird. Poor people are allowed to walk anywhere, so are rich people. However, no, that's not true. Rich people are generally allowed to walk wherever they want. Poor people deal with the gates that they can't get in from. Like,
Not on Joe.
but anyway, see, that's me getting way off the task because we could have talked about it. Like, get to the point. You know what I mean?
It's not. Again, I think there is a reason to talk about her, because it's not just to call out some. She's not some random person. She's someone who had Elon Musk's ear on this issue, and there are very legitimate questions about her background that I think it's good that people in this orbit of conservative or whatever you want to describe them, online people, are calling out a bad actor in their midst. I think that's to be commended, actually. Someone who's having a policy impact.
And has Musk responded yet? Because he's very responsive on Twitter.
I don't know.
I saw him, kind of jump on and respond to this claim that if you lock your account, the algorithm will favor you again. He's notably responsive. So perhaps there's an interesting aspect of this if he's taken a longer time to kind of push back against the critiques that have been going on here. So I'm sure you'll keep us updated, Robbie.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We'll have more Rising right after.
box. It's a wrap. Damn! There was a raft in that box.
I'm tired of it.
Hi
Do it.
everyone.